Very good. That little sound means we have started. Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess the best way to start today is I'm going to hand it over to you. Do you want to start with the lesson plan or the materials? Either. Where are you at with it? Where are you at with what I left you? I left you some tasks to do yesterday. So where are you at with everything?
Yeah. So there were two main things we discussed. For me to flesh out the lesson plan and then come up with an idea for a productive follow-up task. And those are sort of the two things that I've been working on. I think maybe if we start with the lesson plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just jump over to mine. So I've just been sort of kept working on it, on the aims.
So I should just say to you, sorry to just jump in. When I open this, because it's a Word document, when I open
it a Word document? How weird.
Yeah.
Because I work in Google Docs. And I uploaded it from Google Drive. Okay.
Well, that's it. In any case, when I open it there, I just go open in Google Docs. So I've done that already. So how about just so that you're in the same one?
Yeah.
I'll just share it with you like that.
Yeah.
And the same with this here, just so we're definitely in the same space.
Yeah.
Okay. So sorry, I'm sorry I cut you off. Keep going. So
no, that's fine. Yeah. Are we in the same one now? So I just highlighted some places that I'd like to talk to you about.
Okay, we're not in the same one. If you want to be in this, you probably have to open it from your email, because when I shared it with you just now, you'll probably get like a notification in your email.
I got it.
So open from there.
You sent me the one from, hang on. There we go. Yeah. Now I'm in via the mail.
Sure. Okay, yes, I can see. You see this? This always tells you who's in the document.
Yeah, the little cursor.
Yeah. But anyway, okay. So
I think what I've spent some time on the grammar, which is probably technically not necessary for this lesson as such. However, I will be using that for my next TP. So I don't know if I even include it or not. What do you think?
I would say no.
Okay.
What I would say, because your lesson is a receptive skills lesson.
Yeah. The tutor's going to think I'm confused if I leave it in.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it. So what I would do actually, though, instead of language analysis, I would do vocab. And vocab for the items. Now, we're still a little bit back and forth. Are you going to pre-teach anything? Because I remember there's, where is the materials?
Oh, I messed it all up. I took that out. I'm so sorry.
No problem at all. Let me just. I'm as much as I'm a technology vegan, I'm also pretty technologically.
Yeah, I became possessive and I started fiddling.
That's good. No, I love it. I love the initiative. Seriously, I'm not just saying that. I get excited when somebody is in a learning situation and they grab that bull by the horns. I love it.
Yeah.
So yes. So now I remember we were talking about the main thing that you want to pre-teach is jealous, right? Jealousy.
Yeah.
Okay. So my suggestion just on this. Okay. First off, the work that you've done, language analysis and your grammar. Yes, you're right. It's not lost because you will be doing, as you say, some work.
Yeah.
But and your analysis. You know, your tutor might think that you're confused by doing grammar. I agree. I think they would. So
yeah. No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I'll just take it out. When you say vocab, what do you mean?
So the words that you need to pre-teach or elicit. So it's going to be very small. Jealousy, or what was it? Jealousy or jealous?
I did some lexes, which again, I don't know if it's overkill. So if you scroll down, I've done some words.
This, yeah. So take out all the vocabulary and keep this. This is, wow, beautiful.
The grammar. Take out the grammar, you mean, and keep that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
when I say like Lexis vocab, for Salta purposes, see those as synonyms. Just see Lexis as a fancy way of saying vocab.
Yep.
So now, if I'm a tutor and I say, okay, Mette is doing a receptive skills lesson and she's analyzed her Lexis, great, beautiful. Now we're on the money.
Okay.
Lesson introduces and or practices. So that's key there. You see, and or practices. You see, you're not because this is a skills lesson, you're not practicing it, but you will introduce it. You'll introduce it as pre-teach, maybe, or you might, if your lesson focused on read or listen, you could do. It's telling you here. This is exactly what you're doing. Your lesson is listening, and you're doing. I like that word, a precautionary analysis. Well, before I get prescriptive, what does that say to you, that it's precautionary?
I see it as preparing myself for any questions that the students might have. I will feel more secure if they query me on any of that, having sort of gone in depth with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll just add one little thing to that I've seen in my experience, that sometimes trainees do all this hard work on language analysis, and then the problems don't come up, like the student doesn't ask about it, or they don't have difficulties about it, but they kind of get it into their head or into their heart or both, that because I've done this work, I have to teach it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, so you've described it correctly. I'm just adding this extra bit just to make sure that it's clear in your head. I
shouldn't need to shove it at the students if the need is not there.
Correct. Right.
No,
correct.
Yeah.
But when your tutor gets this lesson plan, this is saying Mette is ready for what comes at her. Yeah. You know your meaning, form, pronunciation, etc. Okay, great, awesome. So let's just go back up here. And just for this purposes, I'm going to do something that looks kind of like I'm a bit of a hard ass, but excuse my French, by the way. Oh, come on. Oh, this thing doesn't want to be my friend. I was just going to delete everything there. So let's just delete all of this. It's not deleted forever, but it's just, it's just, you still have the copy of this. This is just what we're working on. But it's just to say, leave this out, leave this out, leave this out. Okay, let's have, how do you feel about the language analysis? Because I don't want to spend your time me just reading something here.
I'm kind of okay with that. I had a hard time, and maybe rightly so, with coming up with problems for some of them, where I'm thinking this could be hard. I don't think this is a big deal. And yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not so fussed. I think if we leave the grammar out, and then we'll discuss that in TP7. If it fits. That was my biggest it was the structure of the lesson that for some reason I wasn't getting. And then the grammar, how to explain that, but we'll do that later. And then I think I'm curious about picking a good speaking task at the end, and then the delayed error correction. Yes. And maybe an extra, an ITA task if need be. What that could be, that would look good.
Great. Okay. Yeah, that's, you know, coming out of yesterday's session, the thing that I really wanted to, you know, zone in was the delayed error correction at the end, after, because I think that's where you can really shine. But one little thing that just jumps out at me, just when I see you, you know, putting phonemes in there and everything, just a little word to the wise. Phonemes, they're great, you know, they can help us feel a little bit more academic about what we're doing. Oh, I'm using these funny symbols, so I'm really getting with the teaching thing, and that's true. However, you need to be judicious. You need to like really kind of like, do I need it here, or is it kind of overkill? Is it the problem that the students need? So you just saw me. I just put in these little.
Okay. I think I understand what you mean. So, for example, holiday brochures might not be a problem phonetically, so there's no need to put it in phonemes, whereas jealous could be. So we put that in there.
You got it. You got it. Okay. And then also, see what I'm doing, like with the little dots as well. Like often it's, especially when it's just discrete items of vocab, I tend to focus just on word stress, unless, as you said, something like jealous, where the j sound might be a problem. You know, I think that brochures, there's not like a whole cluster of vowels that give an unexpected sound. The CH with the O and the afterwards naturally give a sh. So yeah, I for me, it's just brochures, or I guess you can say brochures. You can actually tell them there's two ways of stressing it, isn't there? You have a brochure. Maybe I've been too long in North America. Sometimes I get mixed up, you know, because North America does it one way and back in UK another way. I guess, you know, here you're saying the stress is on the first syllable, so yeah, that's brochure.
Yeah, so that's how you indicate that. I like that because it's easier than putting in symbols and stuff. So you're indicating the number of syllables and where the word stress is.
Yeah, exactly. The word stress is, like here you haven't actually indicated the where the syllable separation is, but you would do that, you just do it with a dot. You know, so brochures.
Brochures. Okay. Yeah. Brochures. Yeah.
Jealous, and always you know your phoneme should go between forward slashes.
Yeah, I did notice. I didn't do that this time. Yeah, I actually like phonemes, and I think they're cool, and that's how I learned Spanish. I think, you know, it was really old school. You know, headphones in a little cubicle and the teacher pressing the tape recorder. Oh, I loved it. Those fricatives, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Did you, in your school, we call it the language lab?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well. Yeah. The last thing I'll just say as well, I always give this feedback to my trainees. If they go up to the board or on, you know, the under shared screen board, and to write a bunch of brochures, to write a bunch of phonemes, I think, okay, great, you're getting your phonemes down. But how useful is that to the students? What's going to be more useful to the students is one phoneme, the problem sound.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So just find where the problem sound, and because they're not linguistics students, they're not self-taught trainees, etc. So just give them the problem one.
Yeah. And the tutor said as much as well. The previous, don't just transcribe the whole thing. Just focus on the difficult.
Yeah. And what I like to do as well is, like when I'm drilling, so if I have anticipated a problem that for example here, that the j sound is going to be a problem, when I'm drilling, before I write anything on the board or anything, I'll just say to everybody, okay, everybody listen to this, j, repeat with me, j, j. Okay, now everybody listen, jealous. So what I'm do is I'm trying to load the phoneme in before
Yeah.
I hit them with the word, rather than doing it the other way around. Like, because if you think about it this way, let's say I drill, okay, everybody, jealous, and they all go jealous. And then I go back and say, wasn't it hard to say j? Like, here's the phoneme for it. Like, it seems like upside down, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if I say, okay, this might be hard, not jealous. Okay,
Yeah.
you got it. Move on, right? Okay, so we'll not labor anything more. Anticipated problem, yeah. Could attempt to pronounce all vowels. Sometimes you could say here, students could have issues with word stress. They might stress the wrong syllable, or maybe brochure can be pronounced brochure. So there's two possibilities. Students, I intend to teach it as brochure. A student might say brochure.
Another way, yeah.
I need to be ready to tell them, yeah, that's possible. You'll hear both.
Right. Okay? So that could be a good thing to mention, sort of.
Yeah. I mean, it's an anticipated problem. Students might be confused by it, but it's no biggie. I'm really just brainstorming, moment on that. Yeah, it's a regular past simple. I usually give the advice, avoid using the word tense, because the tense is like, it's an umbrella term. Like, really, okay. in grammar there's tense and aspect, right? So we have a bunch of aspects, right? There's the present perfect, there's the future perfect, there's the present perfect continuous. All of those are aspects. They're just like ways of the grammar. Whereas tense, and in English it's misleading a bit, because in terms of meaning, there's three tenses: future, past, and present. Past,
yeah.
But in terms of form, you probably notice English only has two tenses. There's only present and past. There's no future tense. Like, and what I mean is, like, take the verb reply there. There's reply and replied, like, it changes. But for the future, it's will reply or will reply.
The form is the same.
Yeah, it doesn't decline. It doesn't conjugate into the future. Anyway, so I just tend to, I just give that advice. Just avoid using.
Will not use tense too much.
Yeah, use it when you're talking generally. But if you're doing language analysis, try to use the specific name of the grammar. So past simple, present simple, present continuous, whatever it is. Okay.
Yeah,
just little things, but it just shows again your tutor that, hey, you're getting
command. Yeah,
I
think it's going to take more to show command of this, but I'll take any little thing we can get.
Yeah, but it's as I I'm very open about my own experience. Well, like, when I think I told you that, like, when I finished my own CELTA, I was not the finished article. Very far from it,
Yeah.
I was
afraid. That makes sense.
I used to just plan one lesson ahead, so these things take time, but you seem like a patient woman, so that's good. We need patience, one for our students, but also for ourselves, right? Because it takes time. You can't start at the end, Okay, so I just have a suggestion, but I'll let you decide. We've got two choices. We can go through your procedure as you've written and expanded it, or we can jump to talking about the productive task and the delay correction, just so we make sure we get that done, and then we can go back and see how it fits in with what you've written in terms of a procedure.
I'm comfortable if we jump. I think we can do that. The only thing, this thing that I struggled to remember from yesterday's session was the order of what do you remember from a listening task, la la la, and I try to type that down so we can just quickly confirm that either now or at the end. That's it. The rest I'm okay with.
Yeah. So let me just bring things up. So yeah, it was when they were going to do the second.
Yeah, I typed it in again. I hijacked your task thing there, and I typed it in there.
Yeah, social tasks, listen to the main, break around 2 students, 4 students, background feedback, elicit right answers, detail, show the task. What do you remember? Discuss in breakout rooms. How 3 minutes. Back to minute. Listen again. Do you remember right? Like you've got it right.
Is that it? Okay.
That's exactly what it's saying. Right. Do you remember like my train of thought, my logic, why I suggested that?
Not necessarily. I'm sure you can repeat.
Yeah, the idea is that so when you go to do listening or listening for detail, and the same actually applies for reading as well, because the framework of reading or listening, it's the same.
Yeah.
Which is very handy. You get 2 for the price of 1. So when you, in this case, listen for gist, or in a reading lesson, read for gist, then you move on to listening for detail. So we know that they've already listened once for gist. So they have some things swimming around in their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So why not, like, if you think about it yourself, you've just listened. Now you get an extra set of questions where you have to go and listen again. Me, personally, I'd be like, oh, I want to say something
I just
already.
want to answer. Yeah, good point. Yeah, no, I didn't remember that.
So I'm just trying to dial into the kind of like
that natural, yeah.
So and then as well, by putting the students into pairs to do that, you know, imagine you and me, we're doing this. Well, I remember A, D, and F, and you remember B, C, and E, and you know, we bounce that off, and I said, "Hey, Mette, do you remember?" They said blah blah, and you were like, "Oh yeah, right," and then you'd be like, "But you remember just before that, Rob was saying no." And I'm like, "Yeah, exactly."
Yeah.
So you're kind of filling in my gaps. I'm filling in your gaps. And it's like, okay, let's go and listen and just make sure that you're right about that one, or that I was right about this. And I think that's a good way of doing detail, because it forces detail, in fact, because we've had this kind of conversation about what I remember, what you remember, and now like I'm really dialed in. You know, I want to like
for the next listen. Yeah. Okay.
So that's the rationale behind it. You know, and I will just say kind of that, you know, some people might say, okay, that's well and good, but it's, you know, it takes a little bit more time to do that, right? You're not just jumping straight into, here's another set of questions and listen. You're giving this little, what do you remember? This little pair work moment. Okay, so that's an extra layer, right? An extra little moment of time. So my advice to you is be ready to justify that, both in the procedure of your lesson plan and in feedback afterwards. You know, if I see a trainee doing that without my advice, I'm happy, but I'm going to ask them, why did you decide to do that?
Yeah.
And if a trainee says to me, I just felt like it, then I'm not as pleased.
Yeah.
If they've got a good rationale, you know, you know, it's not just nicey nice talk, you know, but I do learn things from trainees from time to time. They come up with good ideas, and if they have a good rationale for it, I'm like, oh, I'm stealing that. That was a really good idea. Thing. So my whole point here is just, you know, it's like being at college. Be ready to defend what you're doing, what you're saying. Have a rationale for it.
Yeah.
So so I think that seems like it makes sense to you. I would advise doing it that way. You know, just get it clear in your head so that it's not like breaking your flow too much. to me as well, it's like for that stage in the lesson as well, it seems like it makes sense to, if you are going to do that, then the feedback, that giving the right answer, it's going to be quick.
Yeah.
Because I would just add here as well, into what do you remember, like jump into those breakout rooms and monitor it.
Yeah.
You know, try and gauge where they're at. And if you're, and again, you can say this in feedback, if you monitor while they're doing that and you kind of hear that, yeah, they kind of have it already, so let's confirm, then that's a good reason. You'd have a good rationale to say,
again, for that way of doing it.
Yeah, and then feedback, you'll have a good rationale and say, yeah, I could keep feedback really quick for that because I already knew they were on the right track and they just needed a person to check.
Yeah.
So, you know, you don't have to really get into, well, why is that the right answer? And, you know, it's not necessary because, oh, sorry. Sorry about that.
Don't worry.
Sorry, I'm just going to send. Sorry. A friend of mine, he was like, he's got like 5 missed calls from him, so he's like, oh my goodness, leave me alone, man. There we go. Okay. Let's jump down into this productive task that we were talking about. Okay.
So in the lesson plan, I wrote some ideas down in the procedures part.
What's your favorite travel memory? Who did you travel with?
Yeah, I don't like that as much. I probably like number 2 best. I wrote like 5 or 6, 7. And is it as simple as that? Is that what you meant by speaking prompt? And
yes. The like more, I think that's going to get out of context a little bit, that one. Sorry, let me just go back here. I mean, it's not bad. I wouldn't do that one. That's
right. Delete it. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you help Charlotte and Rob solve the disagreement? I like that one. What do you think we should do?
And then maybe not where should they go on holiday? Maybe that's too much. Maybe just the first 2.
I agree. Yeah, right. Feel jealous. I like that. I like that. I don't know if I'd necessarily go, do you all agree in your group? I mean,
right.
Not. I mean, like, is your intention there just to open it up that they don't necessarily have to agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, well, just make that clear, because it just looks like maybe they have to come to a consensus there.
Okay, yeah.
What do you think? Who do you think is right, Rob or Charlotte? Oh, that's a good one. That's gonna get the juices flowing there.
Right.
So
if it's I'm looking for a word. If it's ambiguous, that last one, I can just ditch it. Do you all agree? Like if you think they might get confused.
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah, that's fine. Keep it simple.
Yeah. So instead of that, I just, you have why there already.
Yeah.
So that's, if you could ask Rob and Charlotte 2 questions, what would it be? This may be IPA.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think happened next? Did you go on holiday together? I've seen those kinds of what do you think happened next activities in books. Sometimes they work, sometimes not so much. I would say no. I like the. Who do you think Charlotte's right to feel jealous? Who do you like more? That's a good one.
Okay.
Who do you think is right, Rob or Charlotte? I would put those three together.
So you would use all three,
Yeah.
or pick
Yeah,
one of them.
No, all three.
Okay.
Do you think they're right? Because they work together, don't they? Do you think they're right to feel jealous? Who do you like more? Like, yeah, I really like Charlotte.
All right. Yeah. So put
More
3,
Charlotte.
4, and 5, but take out the why and what could Rob do maybe.
Yeah, where's the what good? Yeah, maybe I would put this, at the end.
Yeah.
What could Rob do to help her, or yeah, but do you think she's right to feel jealous? Who do you like? I would put in a Y here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those are better than the what's your favorite travel memory?
Yeah, that's just boring.
Touching, maybe. Yeah, I went to visit my granny once. Like,
Yeah.
or it could be I went on this amazing
More.
trip to Dubai or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it's much more unpredictable. A thing that you can do, again, if time allows, is what's called pyramid discussion. Have you heard about pyramid discussions?
I'm not sure I have. And if
Okay.
if then only by title, I wouldn't know anything about it.
Okay, so it's just a way to manage the interactions here. So let me just show you this. Student one. Oops. Student two. Let's get that a different color just so this is clear. Student three. Where you get that? Yeah. Okay. Boom. How many students do you have in your group?
9 or 10, I think.
Okay, great. So this is how a pyramid discussion works. You're going to get your activity from over here. Okay, you're gonna okay, so you're gonna follow up, give them the speaking task, put them into their 3 groups, for example. Groups be better than pairs for follow-up discussions, because
Right.
it's not checking answers, it's generating language, right? And in terms of monitoring as well for you, it's going to help. And the way a pyramid discussion will work is you do it once, and then you put all the student twos together, and then you put all the student ones together, and you put all the student threes together, and then you do it again. You do exactly the same discussion again, and you see, like this is just a good way of kind of classroom managing it. See every group, 1, 2, and a 3, 1, 2, and a 3, 1, 2, and a 3. Then put them in new groups of all the ones, all the twos, all the threes, and now I will write this in a second. The first time you let them do the activity, you give them, say, 3 minutes. And the second time they do the activity, you give them 2 minutes. You give them less time.
Right.
Reason being, first time to do the activity, they're kind of like figuring out their ideas. They're figuring out what they're going to say. They're bouncing their ideas off each other. But when you put all the twos together, all the threes together, all the ones together, then they have ideas, and you tell them time in your new group, you don't necessarily have to say, I think. You can say, we thought.
Yeah.
So then they've got a bunch of language. So basically you get, I love getting 2 for the price of 1 where I can here. And again, you're going to get another 2 for the price of 1. And it's really going to enhance fluency, because going from 3 minutes to 2 minutes, they have less time. They're kind of condensing a previous conversation. Basically, they're paraphrasing. Right?
Yeah.
Paraphrasing is it's another speaking sub-skill, right? And it's an aspect of fluency.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very engaging for the students, because these are good talking points, I think. You can say to them as well, you don't have to talk about all of the talking points. Talk about as much as you can in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Put them in their new groups. Talk about as much as you can in 2 minutes. And the second time, you'll find that they're talking a lot, because their ideas generated. They have a little bit less time. They're really into it. And then from the teacher's point of view, like, your job in both of those discussions is to monitor. And you're going to monitor. So you're going to monitor for 2 things. I'm going to do this. And
do you bring them, just a logistical question, do you bring them into the main room and then back out, or do you just swap them from breakout room to breakout room?
I mean, it's what are you using Zoom, are you?
Yeah.
So I can't remember with Zoom, you can just drag people around, right? Can't you?
Yeah, it's pretty,
But then when you set up breakout rooms as well, like, it'll automatically do it for you, but then you can choose who's in which room.
Yeah.
If it were me, I don't think there's a right answer to that, but if it were me, I would bring them back into the main room and just let them know, okay, you're going to have the same discussion again, but this time you have 2 new partners.
Yeah.
And I always give that instruction. Instead of saying, I think, say, we, and
thought.
you can, exactly what we did there. Leave it open. Again, say thought. So it's a good way of checking instructions. Just leave a little bit of silence for the student to finish your instruction, and that way, that kind of checks. That's an instruction checking technique, isn't it? If they can finish your instruction for you, it shows that they've thought, right?
Yeah.
So if it were me, I would do breakout rooms, main room, set up the second part where now you're doing, as I said. And just set it up like that. So this time, instead of saying I thought, I think, we said we thought. Now, in your role here is going to be, well, what do you think your role is going to be when that's happening? Listen.
Well, I'll monitor for something to use in delayed error correction. I'm trawling for that, and good language as well.
Yeah, you okay? So you really got it. So I'm going to say actually 2 things. Okay. So have you come across this term, content feedback?
No, I don't think so.
Well, if you can, what does your intuition say to you if you kind of contrast it with linguistic feedback? What do you think it might be?
So I'm not focusing on form necessarily, but more on the content, on meaning, or?
Not even just, so like form, meaning, those are linguistic terms.
Yeah.
Content.
Right. So release that all together and we discuss the topic more, or?
Exactly.
Okay. Content feedback.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did you actually say? Because think about it this way, let's say when you started off today and you said, "Oh, I never asked you, Fergus, what did you get up to for St. Patrick's Day?" And then imagine I responded, "Oh, Mette, that's such an interesting phrasal verb you used there. Get up to, like
Yeah.
yeah, like
It's unnatural in a way,
like
Yeah.
yeah, sure. We're language teachers, and yeah, maybe it makes sense to talk about phrasal verbs, but I asked you a question. Can you answer my question?
Yeah. Good point.
So if we set up a productive task, and especially one like that, it's really just opinion, feelings, and that's why we use language in many ways. That's why you're giving them that task. So not everything is about grammar. Not everything is about vocab. Not everything is about systems, basically. But a big part is, that's what they're there for. They want to improve. But you as a language expert know that, well, it's not just the discrete items. You have to bring it together. You have to enhance your fluency, your paraphrasing, etc. So it's natural once a person has just been talking about something to ask them, what were you talking about? So your monitor, I really like to have to give linguistic feedback on what you said. I like the word that you chose there. You're trawling for
language in general.
Language, but also trawl for content. If you just hear students say something interesting, because you need to do that to get feedback going, right? You need to you need to say, "Hey, Peter, I heard you and Maria talking about Charlotte, and you seem to think that Charlotte wasn't such a nice lady. That's probably a controversial opinion. Why did you think that? Like, poor Charlotte." And get into it a little bit like that, like, "Oh, poor Charlotte, like, why would you say that? Like, I've been robbed, like he's been with 75 women, it looks like what's going on here?" You can bring in like a little bit of your personality, do that in your way, and that'll engage students. And it's one of the things that you are evaluated on, which is establishing rapport. That will help to do it. Now, in terms of time management here, spend a little bit of time in that, because again, this is a productive time. There's not a correct answer. Some people might think that Rob is an asshole. Some people might think that Charlotte is, overreacting. Whatever. That's fine. They're entitled to their opinion. You can't tell them what they have to think. And I bring that up because sometimes, people in our position think, language teachers, subtle teachers, we think that we have a soapbox. We think that we have to tell people all what you should do, what you should think. Not at all. Our purpose there is to provide opportunities to practice language, and then to give input on language. That's our purpose. So the content feedback is not to tell them that they're right or wrong. It's to give an opportunity to react naturally.
No, that makes sense to me.
So let's say, whatever way you allocate the time, let's say you have 7-8 minutes for feedback. You want to I would say spend 2 minutes on the content feedback. Quick, but not rushed. Give 1 or 2 minutes is enough to just get a sense. What did you think, John? What did you think, Laura, etc.? Don't let it, you gotta keep your hands on the reins. Let it get control. But also don't say, "Well, no, we need to hurry up here because we're running out of time." Don't say that either. It's good luck for us.
So it forms a part of the feedback.
Yes, it's the first part.
The first part.
Yeah, when you say, "Okay, everybody, you just got 1 minute, finish up your discussions," or you press the button that gives them the timer to bring them back into the room so they know it's finished up. and always start off with, okay, so what did you talk about?
Yeah, good point.
Oh, and I heard you say this, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then to transition naturally from content to linguistic, which is your delayed correction.
Yeah.
To transition and say, okay, well, we're probably never going to figure out when it's right to be jealous and when it's right to, calm things down. But let's try and figure out some things about some of the ways.
Yeah, I can do a little segue there. Yeah.
Yeah, and do it like naturally as well. Try to contact. I always give this what is it? Tip to always keep your instructions contextualized. And when I say contextualized, our context here is Rob and Charlotte, jealousy, travel. That's our context. So all of our instructions say, okay, let's continue the story about Rob and Charlotte. Let's figure out blah, blah, blah. And moving from content to linguistic feedback, I would say, okay, something like that. That's just off the top of my head, but that's natural. Sometimes off the top of your head is what you want because that's the most natural thing. So I say, maybe we're never going to figure out their issues. Hopefully they'll end up happily married and they'll have, a very happy family and all of that. But what we can figure out now is, the best ways to say some of these things. So
yeah.
While I was listening to you, everybody, I heard some really, really nice, some really interesting vocabulary I want to share with you. And there's a couple of things I'd like to improve. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to go a little bit back and forth here, but I need to for this to make sense. So, what do we call that? Let's just call it feedback. I'm going to format this so that everything in it is purple. And I'm going to format this so that everything in it is blue. So, and I'm going to make this a bulleted list. I'm going to make this a bulleted list. And let's say, okay. Good. Help me here. What other good things do you think they might? She's a woman who deserves a medal for putting up with him. Give me another one. What else could they? But some good vocab,
Yeah. What could they say? He should leave her now or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Before it gets worse.
He should leave her now. Before it gets worse. And really, Rob is a bit of a playboy.
Yeah. Be better off without someone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She'd be better off without. Okay. Perfect. Okay, that's enough. So, we should leave her. So, I'm just going to ask you, what have I done with color there, and what have I done? Do you think there's any intention behind the quantity here and the quantity there. And so tell me, what do you think you're seeing here?
Leading the witness. Well, this is, I would say, this is your tracking of what, when you're monitoring, you keep track of what you hear, and you purposely let the good language take up more space than the language to correct.
Yeah. So that's the first thing. I would aim for literally these numbers, about 3 errors to correct and about 4 to 5 good uses of language.
Okay.
I color coded. Yeah, I color coded to help with instructions. I say, look at these purple ones here. Do you think that this is perfect, or do you think maybe there's well, I put it this way. Do you think that we can improve these ones?
Yeah.
Perfect, or we can improve. I put it like that.
Yeah.
Oh, if you always go for a binary in your instructions and in your concept checking question, that always helps, because even if the student gets the answer wrong, it's just the other one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I said, what about this here? What about the blue ones? Why did I underline these words? Do you think I think there's a problem, or do you think it's because I really liked this vocab?
Yeah.
And you see, I'm just using my intonation and my enthusiasm to basically, as you said there, lead the witness. And then I said to them, okay, in pairs, in your breakout room, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I want you to try and tell me, how can you make it better? And then I'm going to give, talk about, what do you think these mean? Okay.
Right.
And
so you'd send them back into breakout rooms. I mean, how much time do I have?
Yeah, to do all of this feedback, to do this whole
gorgeous. I love it. I'd love to do that.
To do this activity, I think you want to plan your lesson that you have 15 minutes for all of this.
Right.
And I'm going to leave this ball in your court as well. I'm not going to prescribe it, but I'm going to say the pyramid discussion, it's going to be an if time allows. Maybe you do it once. I'm sorry, I should change this around just so you remember that. So maybe you do it once, or if you feel you've got ample time, regroup them like that, and give them a little shorter time, and then you can also include it as your sub-aim that they'll enhance their fluency and paraphrasing through a pyramid discussion.
Right. Yeah.
But that's only going to become very clear to you when you get this into your procedure, and I always say err on the side of planning for too much time, because you'll almost always use it.
Yeah.
If you want to do this, I would say 15 minutes you need
for the whole thing.
Yeah. So it might mean, for example, back here, that maybe you need to get rid of that, and just give them the questions, kind of thing. Like,
So just give them the detailed questions, no breakout rooms.
Yeah, and then it's ideally you still want to let them check after they've done it. Sorry. Instead of saying what do you remember, you could say, okay, break, where is it here? So you do your detailed task individually, breakout rooms, compare in pairs for 1 minute, and then do a whole class feedback. Currently, we're saying breakout rooms, what do you remember, do it, and then a whole class feedback.
I can play with that when I time things out. And I think I need to be realistic about my own capabilities when it comes to feedback and managing a pyramid discussion. I think it might be a little like intimidating for me. I mean, I can definitely see how, I see all the good things about it. I'm just not sure I'll confidently execute. So So yeah, I think I'll take some of that feedback thing that we talk about and use that, and then maybe sort of let procedure guide me to feel a bit safer in it all, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. And that's good self-awareness as well. If time allows, or an idea for
something to aspire to, for sure, like to do that.
Like my advice would be follow this as we've discussed here, this procedure. Don't change that. The pyramid discussion, if time allows, or as I say here, an idea for a future lesson.
Yeah.
I would really make it a personal aim to get your content and linguistic feedback done. And here's a little CELTA hack, I guess you could say. You could have this slide ready in advance.
Yeah. No, I'm devious enough to have done those in the past as well.
Yeah. And then, you know, and here, I'm going to give you let's give yourself a very achievable challenge. You know, they say that that's what you should do with everything in life. You know, break it down into like easy wins. You know, if you want a big win, break it down into a bunch of tiny wins, and then you get your big win. You know, and just be patient. So my suggestion is, you know, use this slide here, spend a little bit of time with it to, you know, think about your students, think about what they really would say.
What they would say. Yeah, of course.
And set that up. But here's your challenge. When you're monitoring, I want you just to get one actual error and add to it.
Yeah.
But the other ones add to it. And hey, you know, it wouldn't even be devious or anything. Like you can tell your tutor, look, I wanted to do delayed correction. So I based it on my anticipated problems.
Yeah.
And then I added to that as I caught things. So I just wanted to make sure I was prepared, you know? And
no, but I think that will be okay. Especially, I think my nervousness occurs when there's an error, and then on the spot, like one day I will have all this knowledge in the back of my head, and I'll just go, what you should be saying is this is because X, Y, and Z. But I don't have that there now. So if I put it out to the students the way you suggested, I don't think I would have a problem recording them. I think I would be fine with that. It's more that, you know, on the spot, pull the grammar out, I'm only able to do that with smaller amounts of grammar at this point.
And, you know, to be perfectly honest, like I'm in this game almost 2 decades, but me too. Like sometimes I just don't have to, what is that grammar? You know, So in the case with errors, you don't need to get into the language analysis of it.
Yeah.
Like the first one, I think that Rob is a good guy, and they don't know. Say, what about this here? What's the problem there?
Yeah.
And then say, okay.
Simply saying it's the tense would be fine. Oh, sorry, not the tense.
I mean, when you're talking to students, that's probably okay.
Okay, yeah.
Let's just be more precise.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even I'd say, I would just say, I would always just use the word problem or improve. I'd say, how can I improve this?
Yeah.
Or do we say think in English? I don't think so.
Yeah.
And you kind of give the answer. So, and just tell them the right answer. You know, just tell them, I think Rob is a good guy. Or if you want to say it in the past, I thought Rob is a good guy. You don't have to get into, well, this is present simple because it's a general fact, or past simple because it's finished in the past.
I have to remember that. Yeah.
Just tell them what the right one is. And, you know, if the students say, well, why, teacher? At most, I would say, well, because it's present or past. But like what I generally said, that's just the correct way to say it in English.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah.
Because you know, I don't have kids, but you have kids. You know, like when kids say, but why? Why? There's a certain point when why gets so far that you get back to the Big Bang. You know. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's
but that's a good point. I hear you.
It's not useful to them anymore. So
no, it's not useful, and I think that's key. They don't need it at this stage. A lot of them.
And you got to think about, like, part of your job there is time management, you know. So you got to just make sure that that you're managing time there well. So I think if and you can base it on what we kind of come up here with, but also think about your actual students you've been working with and just get this slide ready. And maybe when you're monitoring, you can focus more on taking some notes just on a piece of paper so you're ready to talk to them, about content feedback, so you can nominate. Laura, you were talking about this or whatever it was. But I think, and you're going to go with these images and everything. I think that's actually a pretty good image.
I mean, let's not reinvent the wheel here. Simplicity.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I think that's your lesson. Sorry, this is me now being a bit anal retentive.
I thought you said you weren't a control freak. That was yesterday.
Some things I said. Yeah, exactly. That was yesterday. Good point.
No, that's fine. No problem. No, I think certainly the rough outline is there. My God, the amount of time you put into these things, it's bloody ridiculous, honestly.
But do you have does this procedure, does it feel logical to you? Does it feel internalized to you?
Yeah, for sure.
Niggling at you still, or
no. That's I understand that procedure, receptive skills, boom, fine,
Yeah.
So that's fine.
So I know we haven't spent time going through the procedure per se, but if you just lead in, generate interest, activate schemata, that should be just there. This is your first task. Listening for detail, follow-up speaking. Okay, your stages are right. So here's what I'm going to say, because I'm going to wrap things up now, Mette, if that's okay with you.
Of course.
If you have any big doubts or anything, just drop a comment in here and I'll get a notification. I'll reply.
Thank you. That's lovely. Yeah.
And then I guess we can plan for our next session to work on your next TP. So just remind me, when are you teaching this lesson?
Wednesday.
Okay. So.
But I won't have time to work on it really, which is why I'm so. Because tomorrow, my next few days are gone more or less. But of course, I will take the necessary time. And then the next one is Monday.
Okay.
So I'll be working on that over the weekend, next weekend. So from Friday afternoon onwards. So I don't know how that fits in with your schedule at that time.
Let's, if you want to book time through my website for next weekend, but the actual hour, I'll know my weekend schedule. It's just I might have to do some examining next weekend, but I'll know for sure by about Tuesday or Wednesday. If I'm not doing the examining next weekend, it might be more convenient for you. I might be able to push our session earlier. So like I said, just book a session that, the best time that would work for you. And then I'll reach out to you and let you know if it's possible.
If it works or not. Anyway, I'm flexible, all day, Saturday and Sunday. So great. If there's a window somewhere, that's fine for me.
Yeah, well, we can keep roughly the schedule, around the weekends. And, if you feel you need something in the middle of the week, I'll do my best.
You can become a crutch, though, I'm sure.
Well,
I can tell. I'm I'm not sure about that. Whereas if I couldn't ask you, I would just have done something, but in the best of ways.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I saw this post by this teacher on Facebook the other day, and he's like, what was it? He said something like, self-directed teachers. You need to read, reflect, and or something. It sounded so makey-uppy. It sounded so he just invented it. You need to read, reflect, and do something else. But then I just, I'm not this person that gets into like internet fights, but I was thinking about it. But sometimes you might read and reflect and draw the wrong conclusions. Sometimes you need a person to bounce your idea off, like whether it's, professional or developmental, like we're doing, or even if it's life.
It makes it all richer. It makes the process richer for sure.
Absolutely. Like, and the same is true in life. Sometimes like if you have like both sides of a conversation in your own head, like if you actually talk to the person, you realize, oh shit, I got that completely wrong.
Yeah.
So
no, for sure, we can't do it on our own. No, and I mean that it's just it's such a privilege and a luxury for me to sit here and you and I are talking about me. It's not that rushed situation, and so it's I feel very lucky.
I'll give you a little insight. Like one of the reasons I decided to do this kind of as consultancy is because I feel the same as trainees feel in the guided lesson planning session. It was never, I always wanted to spend like 2 hours, with them, but no, I could spend like 5 or 10 minutes because I had to keep moving on to all the next ones. And I knew that was the feeling as well from trainees. So,
I guess it's how CELTA is set up, and clearly the concept is a good one, but if it's really that limited, then maybe you should have some teaching experience before you come in. I don't know. I found anyway. Again, that's another discussion.
It does work. It is a it's laying down the challenge to you and like all this thing, independence and everything. But it's also. Yeah, as I keep telling that like anecdote about myself, like I needed a bit more time, a bit more guidance. And that's just me. Like I've worked with some trainees who were like an A from day one, and they could have taught me the course, kind of thing. Like we're all, there's both ends of the spectrum, and all of us find ourselves somewhere in the middle, don't we?
Yeah.
That's just life.
Yeah.
Okay. I love talking about the business part. I'll send you an invoice if that's cool with you.
You should practice that.
Yeah, I should.
Talking about the business part, because what you offer is valuable. It has great value. So that is a good thing.
Yeah, I know. I guess I'm just like, I don't know.
I think that's being a business owner. It must be super hard. I'm not saying I would be any better, but now that I'm not in your shoes, I'm telling you from a customer point of view that it's extremely valuable. So,
well, it's great. No, I appreciate you saying that.
So please, you do, and I'll do my bit with that, and I'll book a time for next weekend, and you'll confirm whether it works or not. Yeah.
Perfect.
Super. And I look forward to this fancy recording.
Yes, it'll be there. Definitely by tomorrow morning. Let's put it that way.
Well, I'm going to bed now anyway, so it doesn't need to get here tonight. That's fine.
Great. Okay. Well, sweet things, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Absolutely. Take care. Bye.